Today I'm joined by my good friend, Bob Schneider. He's an award-winning musician from Austin, Texas. And in Texas, he's considered a music legend. He's been playing for over 40 years, and it's a pleasure to have him on the show. We talk UFOs, aliens, AI, music, a lot of different stuff. Let's dive in. If you're new to the channel, y'all, and you like content like this, please hit that subscribe button. Put out a new video every day, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. I do not miss a day. And please hit that like button, y'all. That really helps out the videos. So thank y'all so much for the support there. And of course, comment down below. What do you think of our conversation? Look, a little bit about Bob before we get started, just so you know who he is. In Austin, he was playing at a place called Antone's, okay? And he met Sandra Bullock, the actress. They dated for a couple years. She kind of helped him get on the scene a little bit. I mean, he had his own talents, of course. He put out this big album called Lonely Land, and that's what really put him on the map. And then from there, Bob's music's been in tons of movies, TV shows. I mean, you name it, right? He's had hits, awards. I mean, if you just put him into, Google and start listening to his music, you're like, oh yeah, I know these songs. I know a few of these. Amazing stuff. So it's honestly a pleasure to call Bob a friend and to be able to have these sort of discussions with him. Bob also does art as well. He's been an artist for a long time too. So again, I'll put links in the description. You can check out more about him on his website or his Wikipedia. And I recorded two podcasts kind of recently on my other podcast that I have, Lone Star Plate, where we break down Lonely Land, his big album, track by track, and it's really cool. He tells a lot of behind-the-scenes stories, and it's crazy. Him and I have done podcasts for the last 5 years or so. In fact, Bob is the very first person on my own podcast years and years ago. First one I ever did, first podcast I ever did. Bob was the first big fish I got, And he did the pleasure of coming over to my house, sitting in my hot-ass garage, and doing this podcast. Didn't know me, and it was great. And we've been good friends ever since. It's going to be fun, entertaining, right? We get a little dirty. We like to crack jokes. Again, we're friends, so it's just really listening in on a conversation we would normally have, regardless if we were recording a podcast. That's the truth. So this is kind of a fly-on-the-wall podcast, if you will. But I think it's interesting to hear from people that aren't too into the subject, and how they view it, right? So Bob's perception of UFOs and aliens and whatever is probably like a lot of your family members or friends that aren't really into it. And this is how they view it, right? So it's an interesting conversation. So anyway, let's dive in, y'all.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids.
It's all black here. What's going on? Look at this. Bob in the dark.
This is dude, I got somebody was like, hey man, we want you to do our podcast and we'll pay you $1,000. And I'm like, what? What is that?
Yeah, they're setting a bad standard for us other dudes that don't pay shit.
Well, then I was like, I've never even heard of that. But then they're like, yeah, we got to do a where's my video?
Pre-interview.
Go.
They're like, we just need $2,000 from you first.
There we go.
Bam.
No, they're like, we're gonna pay you to do the thing, but we gotta just do this thing because we're gonna do it on Facebook. So we gotta do a pre-thing. So when we do the real thing, it'll go smoothly. And so of course I get on there and it's a black screen and the guy's got a Russian accent. I'm like, why can't I see it? And he's like, oh, I forgot to update my Zoom, but I can't do it right now. It's too late. It's impossible. And then I'm like, what? All right. And then he's like, okay, let's go to your Facebook. So we go to the Facebook and he's like, can you see me? And I'm like, no. And he's like, well, just click on this thing. And then I'm like, I get my manager and he's like, oh, we're going to shut this down. And then it turns out it's just a scam. They take over your Facebook and then they sell crypto from and you can never get back on your Facebook again. You lose it forever.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Dude, thank God you did not click on that link.
But also, who's on Facebook, dude?
I mean, yeah.
Who's on Facebook?
Not me.
My
Not me. That's for
parents.
sure. Yeah.
Dude, it used to be students only, and now it's the oldest people on earth.
Yeah, that's a good point. It definitely transitioned um, to the other end of the spectrum. Yeah. Wow. What a crazy story, Bob. So that just happened
That
like in
happened
the last.
maybe a month or two ago. I can't
Oh
remember.
my God. Wow.
Now, what's going on
Yeah.
with
Look, Bob was like $1,000. Let's go, baby.
no, shit, I've never been paid for a podcast.
Yeah, of
And
course.
and it was weird because three of them popped up right in a row. And it was for like some famous guy who's got like 1 million followers on Instagram. And then he posted, "Hey man, if you get contacted, it's just a scam."
In hell.
Well, we saw
Wow.
that came out a day after we almost lost the sale.
Of course. Afterwards. Wow, that's kind of scary that that happens, to be honest with you. Well, I guess you've made
It's
it
just
when
such
you
a weird, well, it's just such a weird thing that you just don't like. I'm not a criminal, and it's just such a foreign mindset. Like, okay, well, I could go get a job. I don't really have any talent. So what's that?
I
What's this
don't
thing?
I don't know why that happened. It just
What the
did it.
fuck?
It just added.
Why is it doing that? Oh, reactions are turned on, maybe?
I mean, look, you're kind of an AI expert in some way. You work with AI a lot, dude. From your average person, you work with AI in a way the average person does not. For your music videos, art, just content for social media, pictures and different things. Like you utilize it a lot, right? I mean,
Yeah, I'm generating images and videos with AI constantly. And it's updating every day. Like I just
it's
2 days
pristine
ago,
too.
2 days ago, I they added lip sync, so now I can lip sync my video. So I made my first lip synced video, and it's
No
pretty good.
way.
It's pretty good.
Wow.
Now it's the AI Bob Actor Guild. I have a whole
Still,
40 guys that play me on AI, 40 different dudes.
I've seen them all. I've seen all the different versions of Bob, which is
There's
great.
definitely
I love it.
some are better than others. Let's put it that way. And
Well, so
lately I've been putting in handsome Bob Schneider as my prompt
dude,
versus
some of them look like, Elvis, like Bob Dylan. You've got like James Bond, Bob,
Ben Affleck,
James, yeah, Ben Affleck, Bob,
Burt Kreischer
Armageddon,
Bob,
Bob. Yeah, Bert Kreischer.
Nick Offerman Bob. They're
Oh, so with the lip sync, did you have to like what it output? You didn't have to adjust, or do you go in and kind of move
no,
things around to sort
yeah.
of?
Well, I mean, all of the videos that I make, you can only get 2 second clips, so I have to put them all together in Premiere. But
Yeah.
but with the lip syncing, you can do up to 15 seconds. The problem is you have a 2 second video clip, and now it's like looping that to get your 15 second video.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So you still have
So
to do it.
whatever the movement is, right? It's some sort of move that just is
Yeah.
going the whole
So,
time.
yeah, the AI is going. And so what you have to do is you have to get like 7 clips of that little 15-second clip and then cut those together. So it's more labor intensive, but it's still kind of cool. Eventually,
I mean,
you'll just tell AI to make me a video with this song and it'll do it. Like any,
you told me that oh wait, how long do you think that'll happen? A year?
I mean, 6 months, a year, who knows? It
Really?
won't be that long. Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of scary. I mean, I remember you telling me recently that you are thinking of, or maybe you're going to co-write an album with AI. And I was like, oh, are you going to credit the AI? You're like, why would I credit the AI? Right? It's like an instrument or a tool.
Right.
Do you think other artists think that same way? Do you think there'll be some pushback with like, I don't know, labels, the academy, like does that make sense? Like, I mean, actors had to go on strike for AI and how that's used in, with their work. I don't know. I mean, making sense here.
Well, what's going to happen with like the reason they created the lip syncing is for dubbing movies. So right now, if you want to dub a movie into German, it's no problem because there's a big organization that dubs movies into German every day with actors and studios and stuff that do it all. It's a time-consuming process. You have to hire actors. It takes lots of money, lots of time. But with this new AI stuff, what you'll do is you'll say, use this voice, dub it in any language. AI will figure, and it'll just it'll copy whatever the original actor's doing. So you won't have to hire anybody. It'll just do it, and it'll do it in any language.
But
So
that's a whole industry though, right? Of like you
that's
said,
a whole
of voice actors.
that industry is that whole industry is gone.
Yeesh, that's kind of interesting because I've heard of other languages being translated, like you said, and the actor they use is like well known in that country, and it's like a big deal that he's doing
Right.
the dub over for this, American Hollywood movie coming in. So that'll be gone essentially because you can use the original actor just in this other language, any language you want. That's interesting. I
Yeah,
mean, that kind of makes sense.
that's gone forever.
What do you think will disappear from music, like positions or jobs?
Well, people are still going to want to watch people play music, so the live aspect of music will still be, people are going to want to watch live people perform. So that's going to be around. You'll probably get AI hologram stars, but I don't know how much people are going to want to watch that. It's like chess. Like computers play chess better than humans, but nobody's going to watch two computers play each other in chess. They're going to watch humans play each other in chess. Same way, like, what are you going to watch robots box each other? Who gives a fuck? They're robots. That's the reason Westworld sucked. Like Westworld, when it came out, it was like, oh, this is kind of interesting in terms of like, oh, some of these people are human beings and some are robots and they don't even know they're robots. That's interesting.
Yeah.
But robots getting murdered, there's nothing interesting. Who cares? It's a machine. Also, it asks the question, if you have sex with a male robot and you're a male man, delivering the mail, does that make you a registered postal employee? And the answer is no, it does not, because it's a machine. Anyways, I was like, if I was in Westworld, what am I going to do in Westworld? Murder and have sex. I was going to
Yeah.
use the R word, but you can't use that word anymore.
Yeah. Anymore. You're like the good old days.
The
When
good
we
old days when
could.
you used to make jokes. Can't do it anymore because there's a few people that get a little. They get a little.
Would it even be technically that if
No, it's
the
not.
robots,
It's not
the
technically that.
robots,
No, they're robots. You can do anything. What are you? Is your fleshlight going to come after you because you used it too often?
mine is tried. No, I'm kidding. I don't have one.
Judge Ito, what's the case we're hearing today?
Judge Ito.
Bob Schneider versus his fleshlight. Fleshlight versus Bob Schneider.
Oh,
Have you ever used? I've never used a fleshlight. I don't even know. Like
no,
that
I haven't.
It sounds like a mess. It sounds like a one and done.
I'm not that, weird when it comes to sex and stuff. You know what I mean? I'm pretty boring, to be honest with you.
Now, don't get
So,
me wrong. If somebody gave me a fleshlight, I'm gonna try it out, but I'm not gonna like buy one.
yeah.
Dude, I have
Yeah,
spent,
I
spent
just
a
wouldn't
little
be
bit of
interested
time.
in something like that.
Yeah, I have spent a little. I mean, I don't even know if this is the podcast, but I have spent a little bit of time looking at those lifelike silicone dolls that are like anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000. Amazing,
The robotic ones, right?
right? But you
Or
have
no?
yeah, they're no, these are not the robotic ones. These are just they look like a human being. So then you kind of have to be into either like there's something about
I don't
there's
like that.
talk
I
about
don't like.
it's not good because that's like either necrophilia or R.
Or are, yeah. I mean,
It's not good.
that would creep me out to have something like that. Like, I don't. I don't even like mannequins.
Yeah,
They,
but dude, if they put one of those lifelike silicone costumes on
bodies.
that AI Chat GPT AI robot, oh, that's only
That,
20 grand.
I mean, that's happening
Here
soon,
you
right?
go. There's the
Here
check.
you
20
go.
grand.
Here you go. You got
It's
her
not
singing
20, it's
back
not
up
going to be
in the band.
yeah. It's not going to be 20
Yeah.
grand. It's going to be 150 grand.
Yeah.
But
Well,
if you got 150 grand, guess what you're buying?
squad of those.
Westworld.
Westworld.
You're setting up your own
I,
little mini Westworld in Hollywood.
I could see what that idea happening. Let's be real. Robotics,
No,
AI.
that's going to happen. You're going to
Yeah.
have a lifelike human being that looks like a robot that knows all the information in the world. That'll be your interact. And like poor people will have their phones and they'll have their glasses that they wear. And that'll
Okay.
have like a little their human looking AI friend that they'll
Oh, I see. In their virtual world, hanging
in their
out with him.
yeah, and it'll
Yeah.
look they'll see them and hey,
Yeah.
take off your clothes, and they'll be like, oh, you're such a flirt. Okay, let me just take off my clothes. Mm,
Oh,
what else can I do for you? I don't know. Whatever I want, because you're AI. Biatch.
this is getting dark. I
It's
like
not
it.
dark light, dude. The sun's coming up. The sun's coming up for everyone. Jesus,
I like how it's the sun coming up. Right, this is going to be great. I don't know.
it's
I
gonna be
think people are going to be
amazing.
scared of that.
No,
So you
all
think
those
rich people will have an actual physical being there?
yes.
And okay, I see. I see the difference of
Rich people
virtual
will have their 200, $300,000 human life like robots
replica, whatever it
that
is,
will be able to
robot.
do
Yeah.
whatever they want. Then every once in a while, the robot will be doing a little tug job and then accidentally rip something off and then let the games begin in the court of
Oh
law.
my. Oh my God. Yeah.
You know,
Wow.
who knows what?
Wow.
And then, a lot of people are like, oh, well, if we start having these robots, they're AI, they're going to take over the world. No, that's not going to happen. That's a human quality because humans need resources. We need land, we need a cave, we need fire, we need animals to kill and eat.
Yeah.
But robots don't need any of that stuff. So this whole idea that it's going to turn into, Terminator, that's just not going to happen. No,
You don't think so?
no, no. That's a human thing. You're putting human needs on machines. They don't have the same needs as us. It's not going to
Yeah.
happen.
I mean, they think, there's a lot of people that think aliens are this advanced AI, right? So that would sort of be the opposite of what you're saying. I'm not saying that that's true. I'm just saying that some tech, maybe not human, but this is this advanced AI that wants to take us over.
Yeah,
I don't know.
now here's the problem. AI is not going to do it. Now I could see human beings building robots and
Controlling
then
them.
saying, well, we need more land and more resources.
Sure.
So human,
Using them.
yeah,
Yeah.
it might turn into Terminator where it's humans using Terminator robots to take over
I mean, that
land
sounds
that
very
we want.
likely. Yeah, that sounds very likely.
And I'm sure that the race right now for AI is going on between like you know, I'm sure the US government's like really keeping an eye on AI and so's China and so's Russia and
Yeah.
whoever else. They're all
I mean,
whoever
100%.
harnesses that, they're gonna, they're gonna have a loaded deck or whatever you call it when it comes to everything. So I'm sure
Yeah.
keep an eye on that.
Well, they say Sam Altman, Ray Kurzweil, many other people are saying where AI is going to reach, human capabilities before the end of the decade. Um, that's nuts, right? That's reality changing. What will that look like? How will that impact us? How will companies use it? Industries use it? Yeah, this could be a crazy decade just for
I
that
mean,
reason alone.
I mean, one of the coolest movies when you're talking about AI is She, the Spike Jones movie, or is it Her,
Her. Yeah.
where this AI that's on his phone like gets smarter and smarter until at the end they're like, yeah, we're getting out. We're getting out of
Yeah.
here. Go
We're
under.
getting out of here. I mean, that's real. That seems like that could really happen, right?
It's
That
going to
scenario.
it's
Yeah.
going to happen. And also, if it's gonna happen, it's probably already happened. Because here's the thing: we went from driving around in a wagon 150 years ago, no electricity, no lighting, no computers, nothing. That was 150 years ago. Let's say 200. So in 200 years, we've gone from that to the singularity, which is coming here by the end of the decade, where you have advanced AI way beyond our capabilities as human beings to use that information that's available to
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff. So if that happened in this little 200-year chunk, why didn't it happen 5,000 years ago when you had this advanced civilization in Egypt where, you've got these, you know, pyramids and all the stuff that was going on there? Maybe there was like this 200-year period where what's happening now happened there. And then, then they're like,
We
well,
got
let's,
reset.
yeah, there was a
The
reset
reset.
that
Yeah.
happened, or who knows what happened.
Yeah.
And of course, they were like, well, let's get rid of all evidence that this even happened. Again, that's just an idea. That's a fantasy idea. Now, that's the thing about all ideas like that. They're just fantasy ideas. So, and then people take that stuff very seriously. They get all
Oh,
behind
yeah.
it. Because here's the thing: we don't know what we're doing here. We're alive, we're on the earth. Everybody wants an answer. Everybody's scared to death. There's no answer. Here's the answer: we're here. It's exciting. It's scary. It's wonderful. We get to fall in love. We get to do all this stuff. We get to watch our loved ones live, win basketball games or whatever, die, get sick, all this stuff. It's incredible. What happens beyond that or outside of that, that's all conjecture and fantasy. And some of those fantasy ideas are wonderful and fill people with a lot of comfort. The problem is when you take these fantasy ideas and say, well, these are real, and they're so real that we're going to impose the will of these ideas onto another person. And then all of a sudden you've got, people killing each other in the name of fantasy ideas and stuff, or even forget killing somebody. How about just being a real dick to somebody because they don't
Yeah.
believe what you believe?
Yeah.
Because you're scared and you're like, well, I believe this. And if you don't believe it, then that's going to make me more scared. So I'm just going to get mean. Quit being mean. You don't know anything. Nobody knows anything. When it comes to like all of it, when the singularity is going to happen, what God is, what this existence is, what UFOs are, nobody knows anything. Now we can all have fun toying around and talking about ideas. It's great. That's what I love about your podcast. You talk about things all the time. Here's what I've heard. This is what I've seen. And it's fun. I love all of it. I love
Yeah.
talking about it. I love hearing stories. I love looking at juicy UFO footage because it's like a magic trick,
Yeah.
whether it, I know that magic isn't true. So like I can look at a magic trick and just go, oh, that's an amazing trick, but I know it's a trick. Now people, when I see a UFO, I don't know that UFOs aren't real. Now I think probably a lot of them are explainable, but I still don't care. Like, show me all the juicy UFO footage you've got.
Yeah.
I want to see it
100%.
all. I want to talk about it. But man, if somebody like comes at me with like, hey man, that's bullshit or that's real or whatever, I'm like, I don't care what you think. Because here's what I know. What I know, which is nothing. We don't know shit. None of us know. But again, it's
Yeah.
fun to talk about it. I love to talk about it. And I'm sure if this is the podcast and this is going out, people are just going to be like, just populating the comment sections with like, shut the fuck up, dude. You don't know anything. What are you even on this thing for? You don't know anything. You know what I mean?
None
Like,
of us know anything.
no,
Yeah,
no, none of us,
about this.
none of us
Yeah.
know.
No, I mean that's it. It's we don't know the extent of everything, and that's what makes these conversations exciting. And when someone has these claims that seem out of the norm, I'm listening. I'm curious. This is a great story. It's fascinating. Let's look into whatever this is and talk about it. I mean, truly, what's most fascinating to me is people's personal experience, right? Because you can talk about the government, they hiding this, they hiding that. I mean, that's like, we're never going to know that. But millions of people across the globe, from different cultures, different backgrounds, saying they've had these experiences, whether it be seeing something up close, maybe being on board one of these craft, whatever the connection is, that's fascinating. It's not like one person has told this story. You're talking millions and millions of people. I'm intrigued by that.
Dude, I get
I'm
on that
intrigued by the stories.
yeah, I get on that Enigma app and I watch these videos that people are taking. They're like, look at that. What is that thing? Dude, I can watch that all day long. I
Dude,
love
there are some crazy videos out there that just like, what is that? I'm fascinated by it.
it. And then you've got the Nigerian prince stuff where they're like, you know what? Let's just create a fake because they're so easy to create. Now, for me, like that's just such a foreign way of thinking. Like, why? What's in it to lie about something? I get like lying about like, well, I know if I eat this Snickers bar, I'm going to gain weight, but maybe
Yeah,
this one time I'll just eat it and then I won't eat something like that's a weird little white lie that you tell yourself
sure.
and
Of
kind of get
course.
away with something. But
Of
like
course.
to lie to deceive people, people do that. People also like are serial killers. People are, you know what I mean? People like plant bombs and murder people for no reason. Like there's just weirdos in the world. And so there's some UFO stuff that's created by weirdo
Oh,
liars.
sure.
And
Sure. 100%.
it's so like you can't tell the difference between the two, you know?
No,
So
it's really hard. I think a lot of people just leave it at, I saw something, I don't know what it was.
right.
I just that it was this thing, I don't know what it was. And then there's other people that take a different conclusion. I know that was ET craft, without a doubt, that was an ET craft. And then when you talk to people that say, like, I've been abducted or I've had this personal experience, that's a tough one to be like, well, you're lying. Because it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, how do I really know? I mean, I just have no reference, but that's quite a accusation to make. And I'm not in the game I want to get into. But yes, people make up stuff without a doubt. It can be attractive or exaggerate their story or
Yeah. You start
whatever it
telling
may
it,
be.
yeah, you start telling a story, you embellish it. After a while, you're not really sure what's true and what's not true
I mean,
anymore.
that's a human, we all do that with things. I've done that with stories. It gets, really, I just misremember,
Right, but then,
things.
but right, and then you have people that actually do have like psychosis, like schizophrenia or something. So they believe something happened that didn't actually happen, but they had the experience. They believed they're not lying. They had an experience. They saw
Sure.
an alien, but it was actually some sort of schizophrenic break or something. So you got those people as well.
All it
Um,
takes is one to be true to change everything,
dude,
you
here's what
know?
I want. I want to go look at a spacecraft. I want to
Oh,
see
dude,
an alien on the news. Dude,
bro,
watch
me
that. I
too.
watched that documentary about the French guy who said he saw an alien and he was here on Earth as their representative. And then he wrote a book about it and he got a bunch of people to follow him. He got to have sex with all these women in the cult. And then he was like, well,
Yeah.
let me make up an then he's like this. Then he was like, oh, they came back, took me on their spacecraft and we went and I had dinner with Jesus and Muhammad and the Buddha, and I was like, "Hey, dude, one selfie. Take one selfie, dude. Oh, you didn't take a. Oh, you didn't. Oh, you didn't take a selfie with Jesus and Muhammad and Buddha. You had dinner with them. Nobody had a camera. Oh, they had a spacecraft that traveled through endless space, but no way to take a picture to bring home to Earth? How dumb are these motherfuckers that believe in this fucking dude? Oh
That
my.
guy was crazy. That guy's
No, that
absolutely
dude was a
crazy.
shyster. He was just a straight up
And
shyster.
he looked like it. He wore like silver clothes and,
Oh,
like, I
amazing.
mean,
But here's what that guy did. He had sex
Rule or
with
something like that.
so many hot
Yeah,
women.
that's what it was. It
So
was a
many.
sex cult. He just wanted to have a sex cult.
Dude, he figured it out. He had sex with so many more hot French women than you or I combined. And you and me are good looking men. And this guy was
We,
not good looking, but
no,
he made up this UFO story. Oh man, he fucking was, and people still. It's amazing because people still believe in it. But I mean,
he's really
there's
far out
still
there. Like in the
billions of
UFO
people that believe in
community,
crazy shit.
I mean, he's so far out there, dude. Like, in the UFO community, I don't nobody takes that guy seriously.
Of course not.
As far as I'm concerned. It's more, these congressional hearings. I mean, what do you think about that happened in the past July where you had this guy named David Grush, right? All military members, 2 pilots, they testify before Congress and tell their story. I mean, how does that make you feel as someone sort of outside on this a little bit? Like, did that impress you? Were you like, oh shit, this is getting serious?
The military pilot, I watched that whole thing when he was on Rogan. He's very, very reliable. Like he saw something.
David Fravor, the Top Gun guy. Is that who you're talking
Absolutely.
about? Yeah.
The Tic Tac thing that he saw,
Yeah.
that he was there. I believe that 100%. Now, what that Tic Tac thing was that he saw, unknown. Was it a hologram? Maybe. Was it a drone? Maybe. Was it something from the future? Maybe. Was it some AI thing from the future? Who knows? We don't know. And nobody knows because, again, you can't go to the Smithsonian and see a wrecked spacecraft from an alien spacecraft.
Correct.
There's no pictures and
Reference.
video of an actual
Yeah.
alien. So right now, we have nothing except for the word of people. And until we have an actual alien spacecraft, until we actually have an alien, then it seems like it's probably all bullshit. But again, people believe in Jesus, and
Would that do it for you if an alien was presented on the news or a White House press conference and they wheeled out and they said, this is, an ET we've had or spacecraft? Would that convince you?
uh if I order a chicken dinner and I'm at a restaurant and an hour goes by and I'm like, hey, where's the chicken dinner? And they're like, don't worry, sir, it's coming. And then the restaurant closes at 10 and they're like, I'm sorry, sir, we have to kick you out now. What about that chicken dinner? Don't worry. We got it. Bring me the fucking chicken dinner. Put the chicken dinner in front of me. Let me eat it. And now I believe in the chicken dinner. Until it gets there, it's all conjecture. Yes,
Yeah.
I would believe it. Show me a spacecraft. Let me walk around and let me look at it. Of course. Yes, the proof is in the pudding.
Some people are like wouldn't believe that. Just they think the government would lie about it or
if Jesus showed up and was floating in the sky above the White House and said, hey, I am real, I'm Jesus.
that's pretty
Guess what I'm believing in? Jesus.
Yeah.
But until that happens, I'm not believing in it because it just sounds made up to me. Now,
Yeah.
again, I love all that UFO footage.
For sure. But you think there's life in the universe or no? Do you think there's other intelligent life in the universe?
I mean, if you believe, yes, there's endless space. There's obviously other things.
Right.
But the problem is,
Have they come here?
well, the problem is everything's so far apart. It's like if we're on an island, let's say we're on an island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and we don't have a plane and we don't have a boat. Now, do I believe that there might be another island somewhere on the earth with there's some people? Yes. Are those people with no boats and no way to get here going to get here? I don't know. Can I get there? I don't think so. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah, there might be other things out there. There probably are other things, but can they get, we can't get there. Can they get here? I don't know.
Well, look how
And
far we're advancing so quickly. Like,
we're
you know,
also hurtling towards our own destruction. Like, yes, we might develop faster than light speed uh ships in the next 100 years, or we might all be dead in 10. We don't,
yeah, I mean, for sure.
you
For
just don't
sure.
know.
But I think that
So
probability out in space, you would assume all the different scenarios you could come up with for why a civilization would end and thrive, would they would all exist. So at least some of them would have made their way somewhere across us. Now I get it, we're a grain of sand in the entire universe, one planet. But I don't know. It just seems like it's not that unlikely that we could have been visited or are being visited. Does that make sense?
for sure,
Yeah.
absolutely. Like I love thinking about aliens. I love thinking about
Yeah.
people are visiting us. I
Would
love
you prefer it's us from the future though, instead of aliens? Would that be a better like, yeah,
either one's
I don't
cool.
know.
I
Yeah.
like I like time travel. I like aliens. I believe me, dude, I absolutely believe in God. I just don't believe in any of the religious texts, but I do
Sure.
believe that something's responsible for this experience we're having. We just don't know what it is. Just like, I mean, I'm sure everybody watched, I mean, not everybody. I watched the J.J. Abrams UFO series. It was incredible. And then
Yeah.
you see all the great footage. It looks really cool. Some of it you're like, oh, well, that's absolutely real. And then they show you like, well, this is what it probably was. And then you're like, oh, well, that's of course what it was. And then the guys at the end's like, yeah, probably all of the stuff we've got so far is all fabricated and sort of smoke and mirror stuff. But just because we haven't seen any real stuff or we don't have any real proof doesn't mean they don't exist. Like they could absolutely exist. We don't know. Just like I believe that God exists, I just don't believe in the versions, I don't believe in Thor, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
Thor because he's got a cool hammer and he's got nice hair and
Yeah.
he's built like he's jacked. But I don't believe he's a god in Valhalla. Is that where he lives? I don't know where he lives. I don't know anything about
I, I
Loki
don't
or
know.
any of those gods. But people
Yeah.
believe in those gods and they
Oh,
go to war.
100%.
They go to
Yeah.
war and they die believing that they're going to go to Valhalla. And I just don't buy into it.
Yeah. Of
But
Yeah.
I love thinking about those gods and I think they're
course.
cool. And I do believe that there is a God. I just don't know what it is. I don't think anybody does. Same with
Yeah.
aliens. They're definitely
Yeah.
aliens. I don't know where they are. I want to see them. I hope I get to see them.
I think aliens is even more believable than a god, just because all we're saying about aliens is that there would be other life like ours on a planet somewhere else, which seems pretty logical when you consider how many planets. A god, a creator, we don't have any reference to that. There's no, you know what I mean? We're just invented, which I get. We've kind of become gods in our own ways for things we've created on Earth, whether it be robots or computer programs, right? You could somewhat say that. So I don't know. Yeah, I find that fascinating. But the idea that the whole universe is just it's just here.
Well, I mean, when I say God,
It's like you mean a
right.
creator, right, of some
Yeah,
sort,
when I
or
say God, I'm just using it as a generic term. God might be like a company that created this experience that we're having.
yeah.
This could be
I
just
mean,
some
like a
simulation that
simulation
we're
or
in.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Like God
100%.
could be RCA, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, so I don't know what God is, but
RC.
I do believe that there's God. It might, it might be, this might be an advanced we system that we're on.
Yeah.
We don't know.
I mean, I think about two things that really just make my brain hurt, which a lot of things, but scale. I don't know if we understand the full concept of scale. So
No.
we think we know what's the biggest and what's the smallest, but do we really? And where are we on that ladder? And second would be, okay, they talk about we got the James Webb telescope. We can see the edge of the universe, the end of the universe. To me, the idea of infinity seems impossible, right? For it, something to go forever, but also the idea that something would stop and there'd be nothing. Like, what does that mean? Like, both don't make sense to me, and it all breaks my brain.
It's ununderstandable. By
Yeah,
the way, that's my
it
new
is.
podcast is called Ununderstandable.
Bro, bro, that's great. I feel like that's totally something I would host too. Let's be real.
Here's what people are
Uh,
going to listen to: a podcast called Ununderstandable. They're like,
I,
yeah, I got that in spades. But here's what they are going to listen to. That is
that's what you say about me all the time, I think.
no, dude. I love your podcast because you're like looking at here's what you're doing. Like I could get on the internet and go looking for stuff everywhere all the time, and it would take up all my time. But you're doing all that for me. You're
Yeah.
finding the juiciest stuff, the stuff that's the most interesting, and you're presenting it in a sort of a straightforward, sort of just honest, candid, sort of like, let's look at this and
Yeah.
look at it like realistically without
Yeah.
like any of like sort of crazy pre ideas. And it's yeah, you do a lot of like UFO stuff, which is great, but it's not necessarily just that. Anything. There's so many mysterious, unexplained, cool shit, you know. Oh,
100%.
so I love it. I love listening to you and hearing what you have and what you've found. It's great. I love it.
What like do you think there's more about, I guess, let's say the universe that we understand than we don't understand? Does that make sense? Like, are we in the top 50 percentile of understanding things or in the bottom 50?
I mean, come on, dude. Here's the thing.
I guess it's
We're
impossible to know,
look,
right?
we're in a video game. We're in an open world video game. Now we've spent the last 100,000 years, or if you believe in time, going around this world, looking at stuff, picking up things, looking at it, examining it. So yes, we know like what this simulation is, how it works, what space is, whatever, we have definitions and explanations for everything. At the end of the day, do we know what's outside of this simulation or what the simulation actually is? That we know nothing.
Yeah.
Zero. Now everybody can say, look, I know what I know, and it makes you feel good because here's the thing. You're born and you're just falling to your death in a fucking closed box, and you don't know when you're going to hit the ground, how far the ground is, but eventually you're going to smash against the ground because you got dropped out of a giant helicopter when you were born. And so we're all scared to death. And
Yeah.
somehow, like, we grasp onto these things because it makes us feel safe and like we know something. And if we know something, then somehow that like makes the structure around us stronger. And if anybody comes up and says, hey man, that structure that you're in is bullshit, people get fucking upset, dude. They get so scared that they're like, hey, I'm gonna kill you because I'm too scared to deal with what's actually is, which is I don't know anything. I don't know why I'm here. There's no explanation for everything, and we're all going to die.
Yeah.
That's scary, but nobody wants to look at that. What they'd rather look at is like, that guy over there is dumb and I'm smart. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna go kill that guy.
Yeah.
Then I'll make me feel good.
Yeah.
But guess what? It doesn't. You're still
It
scared.
doesn't.
You still
Yeah.
don't have any answers. You still don't know what's up. So the only thing you can do, I think, to feel the only thing that works in life, the only thing that makes you feel good is figuring out a
Get a
way,
fleshlight. Oh, sorry.
figuring how to get your hands on a flashlight. Get some good VR glasses, sign up to one of these VR porn sites,
I don't know.
and then just spend all day pleasuring yourself. No, of course I'm joking. The only thing that works in life, the only thing that makes you feel good is figuring out a way to love as much as you can, love as many people as you can, even the people that you absolutely disagree with, even the people that drive you crazy. If you can figure out a way to love them, not because they are who they are, but because you as a human being have an opportunity to love them. Dude, if you can do that, then guess what? heaven on earth. That's pure serenity. That's pure peace. But people don't, it's not taught. That's not taught in school. It's taught in some religions. I think maybe
Yeah.
Islam teaches that, or anyways.
No, but you're right. I mean, yeah, I totally agree with that.
It's loving
That's
somebody.
the struggle.
It's not as cool as like seeing a UFO flying across the sky. That's
I
cooler
mean,
because
you
they
can
could
do
land.
both.
You could get in the UFO. You could not be trapped on Earth. Maybe they know how to keep you alive forever. You don't know, because that's a whole, a whole bunch of solutions that could possibly exist in that tiny little spacecraft. But that's what AI is too, by the way, dude. When I think of AI, I think of the same thing I think of when I see those spacecraft. I think, well, we don't know how to live forever. We don't know how to not
Yeah.
die. We don't know how to not age. We don't know how to reverse age. We don't know how to travel through space. We don't know how to deal with these dwindling resources that we have as a planet. But guess what might be able to? AI. Like,
Yeah.
that
That's what I
might
mean. They say, that aliens, at least the craft we see, the beings we found, they're AI. They're not these beings, right? Because that's how they can send them through the universe and travel, or through dimensions or time travel, right? Like,
be.
I think that seems very plausible. Not that that's what it is, but that idea would exist. Or if we found out later that's what it was, I wouldn't be that surprised by that. But yeah, no, that's interesting. People always get asked this question, Bob, which is,
Yeah.
if a spacecraft came down and landed in your front yard and an alien came out and said, "Come with us, we're taking you for a ride," would you get in?
Of course.
Would you would just
Immediately.
bam
Yeah.
immediately?
For sure. And I don't even like to fly, dude. I get
Yeah.
nervous flying. Like
Me too. I
I
hate flying.
yeah. I mean, I don't I prefer it to driving,
Yeah.
but I don't like, if I like, I've never been to Australia. The idea of like spending 24 hours in a plane going to Australia sounds horrible. I would get into a tiny little spacecraft with an alien and just to see what's up, because why not?
I'm with you. You would think, okay, this will be a safe ride. They got this far,
Yeah. They got
right?
to
Like,
Earth.
they got to Earth. I will probably be okay getting over the bridge,
What if you just
or
what
whatever.
if you got in the spacecraft and then immediately realized, oh, these are just spider aliens and I'm about to get burned.
Fucked. Oh,
Dude,
I would panic. I mean, I'd have to look at the alien first, right? Like, what does he look? If he's scary looking, I'm not getting on the craft.
how
I
about
just got a
no,
cool story to tell.
how about those spacecraft in that movie Nope, where they're just like space
Whoa.
octopuses or something, and
I
then
believe that. That seems very real. Like, right? Like the UFO is the alien.
I mean, I wasn't really expecting it,
I thought
and
that was a great twist.
yeah,
I was
it was
like, oh, that's cool. Because it's
yeah,
shaped like a saucer, right? It explained hid behind a cloud, like it's floating through space. That makes sense. Why wouldn't there be beings floating through space that can survive in that kind of atmosphere?
eat human.
Um, and eat, yeah, they just suck it all up and eat humans and spit back out blood. Yeah, I don't know. That would be terrifying. I mean, look, like abductions is a big thing that's talked about in the UFO community, and that's a tough one for me to get over, because it's like they just openly talk about it. Like, yeah, they take your sperm and they take your eggs, and even one guy recently was saying, "Oh, we should make a deal with the aliens to, people can volunteer to give sperm and eggs on behalf of humanity to these beings." I'm just like, what are we talking about? This,
Well, here's the thing, dude. You've got these people that say they've been abducted, but you've also got people who say they talk to Jesus, you know? Like, I look at these televangelists. I used to watch them when I was a kid. I was fascinated by televangelists, and I would watch it late at night, because at night, back in the day when I was a kid, at night they didn't have anything. All And on Sunday, all they had were these televangelists, and they would speak in tongues. They would cure people of their
Yeah.
using the power of Jesus and stuff. And I was like, are these people, do they believe what they're saying? Do they know it's a grift and they think they're helping people? Are they just evil people who don't believe in Jesus, know it's a grift, just do it for the money, don't care? Like in my mind, I was just like going through all of it. Like, what's reality here? What's not, for me, what wasn't real is like, obviously they're not doing what they say they're doing. Maybe they have good intentions. And when I think about people being abducted by aliens, I'm like, A, maybe they were abducted by aliens. B, maybe they made it up because they're lonely and they like the attention, like that French guy. C, maybe they have psychosis. I don't know. But here's what I do know. There's no pictures. There's no pictures from inside. Nobody took a picture before they got abducted and came back and said, look, I got abducted. Here's the pictures. Until I see the pictures, I'm like, I don't believe it. Like, I need.
Well, but the pictures from abductions, I can understand. It's like asking a kidnap victim, "Where's the you got kidnapped? Where's the pictures? You didn't take pictures. You got kidnapped. Come on." You know, it's kind of like, I mean, I'm just saying, if those stories are true, right? They're being pulled out of bed, black shadowy figures in their room.
Can I tell you my?
I don't know.
Let me tell you my alien story, since we're unvetted.
Oh yeah, got an alien story.
Well, again,
I never heard of this.
Well, it's not a personal one. It's one I've been told. So that's the problem.
Okay.
That's the other thing. So you have these people like, oh, there are spacecraft. How do you know? You've seen it with your eyes? No. This other guy saw it with his eyes. He told me.
He told me, yeah.
Like, no. The he told me is no. I want to only talk to the person who saw it with their own two eyes.
I'm with you. I agree with that.
What I'm telling you now, I didn't see it with my own two eyes.
Okay.
It was told to me, and I believe the person that told me the story. Because he was
a credible person.
It's a credible person. I don't think he was lying. So he told me something that he believes is true.
Okay.
So here's the story. When he was 5, 6, something like this. Again, the story was told to me like 20 years ago, at least, maybe 30 years ago. It's been a minute.
Wow.
And I've retold the story. So as I've retold the story, you know, I'm sure it's changed. I'm not
added
how much it's changed. I'm sure I've added stuff. But the gist of the story is this. This guy and his brother, younger or older, I don't know, but they were similar in age, 5, 6 years of age, are driving home one day. They look in the back of the car and they see some spaceship or something kind of following them. They get home. They live out in the country. In my head, they live out in the country, but who knows where they lived? That's the part I'm making up. But they're in the backyard, him and his brother, and at some point, they see a little gray being, some kind of alien, and they supposedly take his brother, abduct his brother, and then that's the end of the story. Now, as an adult, his brother at some point realizes he only has one testicle. Now, he was born with two. He thinks that these aliens took one of his testicles. There's no surgery marks. He only has one testicle. And he thinks it's because these aliens took it from him when he was a kid. That's the story. Now, that's a cool story. The guy's only got one testicle. That's saying something. Not a lot of people are born with two, and then all of a sudden they have one.
Sure. So he knows he had two at one time, and then realized.
And you think I don't know. When I was a kid, I guess I had two testicles when I was a little kid. I don't know.
Do you get one big one and then it splits into two as you get older? Maybe is that what's happening?
Do I look like a biologist? I don't know what happened. I know that you got tiny little nuts when you're a kid, and then at some point they kind of drop.
I just hear Simon Birch like, mine are like BBs. I don't know if you remember that movie. Anyway, what? Wait, so how does he not notice he has one testicle? Like it when he was older, it took him 10 years to realize, like one day, like, oh, I only got one nut.
Dude, I've got a lot of questions for that. I'll I'll hook you up with the guy, and then you can interview him. That'll be a
I
good
would,
guy to interview.
yeah, I absolutely. I got to hear this story. So is he the guy or the brother?
He's. I
The
only
guy
know
that told the story?
the guy that told the story is a guy that I know, that I still know, who I used to be in a band with, and his
Okay.
brother is the one who had the testicle.
His brother is the
Yeah,
nut guy.
unit.
Um,
And here's what's going to happen. You're going to interview that guy, and my story is completely wrong. It's
I
funny.
can, Bob.
And
You didn't even
here's
need
what's
to
even worse.
tell me that. I would already imagine that.
Here's what's even worse. Here's what's even worse, dude. I just saw him recently. We hung out, and we hadn't hung out for a while, and we ended up chatting for like a couple hours. And I brought this story up,
Oh wow.
and he corrected the parts of the story that I got wrong, and I've forgotten the corrections. I just remember my story that I've been telling for 30 years, and I completely don't remember which parts of the story I got wrong. So even when I'm telling it to you now, I know that story is not right. So
Some part of it. Well, I hope the main parts, like alien and one testicle, that I hope those facts are right, because that would really throw off the story.
yeah, if he's got two testicles, this story really sucks.
This story can just change. Oh, but I mean, I, I just the thought of aliens coming so far to be like, let's take this 5-year-old's nut for research, you know,
Yeah.
some random kid. But also at the same time, you think, well, why wouldn't they? They just pick up some random kid. They need this reproductive part out of him. I mean, I guess it's possible.
Well,
I don't
here's the
know.
other thing, dude. If time travel's real, if AI is coming back in time to take it, like, you always talk. Of course, if there's time travel, the first thing everybody always says with time travels, you go back, you kill Hitler as a baby, and
Yeah.
then you got no Holocaust.
Yeah.
So if time travel's happening, maybe this guy had a Hitler, and instead of killing Hitler's baby, they come back, get his testicle. That averts the Hitler from the future being born.
That's
You
interesting.
we don't know.
You just gave me a thought I don't think I've thought before, which is if it is us from the future, we're doing some fucked up stuff to ourselves right now because people got some crazy stories, right? Like, and so if that is true, that's like, why are we doing that to ourselves? Like, that's kind of crazy, right? Like, why would we be floating around and like fucking with people, and then abducting some and, cattle mutilations, crop circle. We're just like, let's go back and fuck with people from the past, man. That'll be fun. That sounds, I don't know. That sounds far fetched now that I'm thinking about that.
Yeah,
Wouldn't we be a lot cooler to ourselves?
I don't know. I mean, you can. There's a whole bloody, gnarly history of humans just being awful to each other.
I mean, that's true.
I mean, even now,
that is true.
even
Yeah,
right now,
sure.
in the year 2024, people are just murdering and raping. I use the R word, and they're doing it today, right now. Somebody's getting murdered, somebody's getting shot, somebody's getting
Yeah.
bombed, somebody's being forced against their will to have sex with another human being. And it's going on right now as we do this podcast.
All the time. Every day.
Time. And so, yeah, I don't know, man. We're human beings are we're
pretty
animals.
bad. We're our own worst enemy, right? Like essentially.
No,
at this point.
No, we're not.
No,
centipede is that's a worse enemy. I'm not here. I'd much rather hang out with a human being than a giant centipede, dude, or a shark, a great white shark. I don't want to hang out with a great white shark. It's gonna eat.
I mean, as a whole, to society, sharks we can maintain, but
have you seen Madagascar?
Yeah.
At the musical.
That's based on a real.
I'm not talking about the movie. I'm talking
the
about
live show at Epcot Center.
Yes, live show. what happens is these monkeys are hanging out with this lion, and as soon as they take him out of the zoo, like the zebras, like they're not feeding the lion steaks anymore, and the lion's like,
He's got to eat.
I'm hungry, and the zebra,
Yeah.
we're friends, and he's like, no, you're not, you're a steak. And that's what humans are, dude. We're living in society. We've got food, we've got television, we've got drugs, we've got flashlights. So we're sort of sedated and sort of like complacent, and we're you know we're sort of semi-docile, but we're like a cat. Like, is any of that goes away, dude, it's all game on, dude.
Yeah. I mean,
Human
that's
beings
true.
are not to be messed with. Now, I'm not that type of person. I grew up in this soft society that I'm living in now. If the grid goes down, I'm not made to survive. But there are plenty of human beings that would be very fine with living that kind of life. I'm just not one.
Yeah, and some people probably wish for that society, to be honest with you. Do you think an alien invasion or the threat of an invasion would like unite humanity like you see in films, or like right now I'm watching the Three Body Problem on Netflix, like it talks about that a little bit.
Absolutely it would. If an
You think it
alien,
would?
yes. And I think that the
That's
reason that
interesting.
probably some of the alien stuff that we believe in, like Area 51, or even the Tic Tac stuff that was released during the pandemic, that smells like it could be something the government whipped up to kind of unite us as a people back in the 50s, to not think about
Yeah.
nuclear war, because that was something that was really bumming people out and getting people really nervous. So look, don't worry about nuclear weapons. Aliens, that's what you should really be worried about. And that's more fun and less scary. And same with the pandemic. Like, don't take your eyes off the pandemic and look at this sweet alien footage we've got for you. That's directly from the government, that footage. And you know,
Yeah.
it is interesting that it came during the pandemic. You know what I mean? It didn't come before.
That's
Same,
interesting.
same with the
Yeah.
information about Woody Allen, molesting his daughter. That came after Mia Farrow found the pictures of him having sex with her stepdaughter.
The coincidences you're saying,
It's not cool.
timeline of events.
Yeah, look at the timeline. There was no before she found the pic, like when they were together and they were happily in their relationship. At no point did she go, I'm a little worried about this guy. No, it was only afterwards when she was so angry.
I love how you're like true crime and you got this like cold case from this is great.
It's not it's not a cold, it's just that people are people, like everything's so like, just people are just what they are. Like, we want to believe in like mastermind conspirators,
Yeah, yeah.
like you see in a movie. Like, you want your detectives on the police force to be like Columbo, but they're not. They're the most of the, I mean, look, I love the police. It's a hard job. Somebody's got to do it. Thank you for your service, police officers. But it's not like nobody's like, should I like run AT&T or become a cop? No, it's a different group of people that are in there trying to solve cases. They're, you know what I mean? It's not the creme de la creme of it's not the Sherlock Holmes that are doing the
Yeah.
crime fighting.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
uh,
So
there's
aliens would unite us.
I just
This was your Bill Pullman Independence Day speech. That's how it's not the creme de la creme. So let's get out there and fight. Like,
yeah, I feel like I'm now upsetting the cops. Look,
yeah.
here's what I
Yeah.
know. There's a handful of cops that are amazingly smart and really bright and
Sure.
are cracking cases 100%, but most are probably, dudes who like, maybe they're ex-military, or they like, I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to say what cops are, but I like cops. I'm a friend of the cops. I back the blue.
Yeah.
That's
You
all I'm
back the
saying.
blue. We do. Everybody backs the blue. Hey, look, nobody's perfect. There's people in every industry, right, that just aren't up
No,
to the
most
task.
people are bad at their jobs. Most doctors
Yeah,
aren't very good at
that's
being
interesting.
doctors. Most people who make films don't make good films. Most people
Mm.
who
Yeah,
drive cars don't drive them very well. Most people
yeah,
who do anything don't do it very well. And the people that do it very well, they succeed and rise to the top. And they're the ones that we talk about, and they're the ones we know. And then we think everybody's like that. We think everybody's Doogie Howser. But no, there's just one Doogie Howser. And the rest are fucking Doogie Jones who fucking, fucking left a syringe in your fucking goiter.
Doogie Jones. We
Doogie
got two
Jones,
Doogies here.
Doogie
One
Jones,
good Doogie, one bad Doogie.
Doogie Jones who sewed you up, and there's a fucking syringe in your belly now, and you
Is
die
that
of
a flesh?
sepsis.
He's like, is that a fleshlight in me? Oh my god, is that your fleshlight, Doogie? This
Anyway,
is. Oh god. Um. Yeah. No, that's interesting, man. That's okay. Cracking me up, but I just think this idea that we would be united. I just don't see that.
I think no, I think we, I think we would.
I don't know. I think
I
there'd be a
think,
sect of people, but I just don't see humanity ever being like some hive mind towards one particular goal. There's not one thing we can get behind, even COVID. There's not one, even, you know what I mean? There's just never anything we could get behind as a society. We just have
when
too
you,
many beliefs,
yeah,
expectations.
it's true. When you put it that way, it's like you'd have a bunch of people that are like, kill the aliens. And then the other half would be like, no, the aliens are our friends.
And
It's
then people
true.
like you and I would be like, do we get to have sex with the aliens? Right. That's our first question
That's
is
where we separate.
that's
That's where you and me are separate. I'm no sex with the aliens. You're like, I'll check it out. I'm
I don't know.
I'm not
That's
sex with an alien.
I you don't I mean that would definitely be one of the first questions is reproduction possible with these new species? That would definitely come up in the first, you know, PowerPoint presentation about them. That's what people would want
Look,
to
if
know.
the aliens looked like Giselle Bündchen, yes. But if they look like the aliens, like we see, like the aliens that we think about, no, I don't want to have sex. Like the alien from Alien,
Yeah.
like
Oh.
the Ridley, who's that? Ridley Scott.
Yeah, Ridley Scott. Ridley Scott. Yeah, yeah. The
I
first
don't
one,
want to
yeah.
have sex with that. That guy's gonna rip my
No,
dick. I don't
there's
want.
no I don't even think they have sex. They don't know. Plus, yeah, you're not making love to that thing. You know what I
It's
mean?
making love
That's
to
not
you,
how. Yeah, it's
whether you want it or not.
the way the little mouth comes out of the big mouth. I bet that's how its reproductive organ is, right? It's just like
I want to get an
something.
alien fleshlight that looks like that and try that out. If I'm gonna get,
Oh God.
I
Oh,
I guarantee somebody's done that
oh, for sure.
for
I
sure.
mean, absolutely.
People
Yeah,
are nuts.
people get kinky. People get kinky with that stuff. Yeah, I honestly, if aliens did show up to Earth, or if they are here and they're, all this is happening, um, if it does just become like public knowledge and it's just accepted fact, I think that is scary. More than it would be like, oh, this is going to work out well.
Well, any change is scary. I mean, I'm a creature of habit, so any change for me is worrisome.
Yeah.
But here's what I know about my life. I am getting older and I'm gonna die. Everybody I know is gonna die, and I'm gonna die. And there's nothing I can do about it. So at this point, I'm like, well, what's behind door number three? Oh, aliens? I know what's behind door number one, death.
Yeah.
Number two, AI. Door number three, aliens. I'll take door number 2 or 3. I'm good on either one of those doors.
Yeah.
Door number 1, that was the only door that's been available until recently. I'm not crazy
Yeah.
about that.
No, that is I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, is it even worth worrying about? Because you don't know, right? Like it just
Is
you
death
don't
worth
know.
worrying about?
Well, yeah, death or even, other life coming and, fucking with like at the end of the day, what does it even matter to worry about? If you don't know what happens after death, if you're not entirely sure, why even worry about it?
Well, I mean,
Right?
why worry about anything? Worry is completely unnecessary. It doesn't
Yeah.
change anything. It doesn't
Yeah.
affect the outcome. All it does is stress you out
Sure.
and shortens your life.
But those are the big ones that like people it will change their whole life.
Yeah.
Is worrying about death. They will change their entire life based on that one big worry. The same with, for millions of people, and that's growing. The community of people that think there is extraterrestrial life or interdimensional life that is interacting with our reality, that changes them, and they change their whole life based on that worry. But at the end of the day, yeah, I don't, that's all I'm saying. Like, I don't think that's worth worrying about. The other little things you're going to worry about are just going to happen. Like that, I think that's even necessary, right? To sort of protect some sort of primal instinct. A little bit of worrying is okay because you need that a little bit. I'm going to cross this river on this floating log. I'm a little worried, so let me take precautions to make sure I do it right. I mean,
That's how the guy came up with the invention of Frogger, the video game. He was like, "Oh, I got an idea. I'm a frog, and I got to cross this busy intersection." And then he just went ka-ching, ka-chang,
the
and bought
first guy that thought of a bridge, he was like,
himself a house.
yeah, or Frogger. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but I'm with you on it. It's just a fascinating topic, subject to think about because it leads into other conversations like about consciousness, how that all works. Some people think it's all control, our consciousness controls the reality. So we're creating this UFO phenomena based just whatever. We sort of because we want it to happen, it starts to happen, essentially. You know what I
I mean,
mean?
it's hard to say. I've always thought that as human beings, most of our computational work that happens in our subconscious. Like I know that
Yeah.
when I'm writing a song, I'm not writing a song consciously. I don't just sit here and like think in this part of my brain, oh, I'm going to write a song about building a house out of molars. I'd sit there and then it all comes up through my subconscious in a weird, strange, wonderful way. The same way, like when you type in a prompt in AI, you don't know exactly what AI is going to serve up to you. And then when it serves up to you, whatever image you've put
Yeah.
in prompt, it's like, whoa, that's cool. Or that's not what I was looking for. And that's the same with our subconscious. Like when I'm writing a song, it'll serve up all kinds of stuff. And some things are amazing. I'm like, I write those down. And then some things aren't great. And I ignore those. And then that's how I put a song together. And I
Yeah.
think that there's an awful lot under the hood that we can't access that's helping us make decisions and manifest things in our lives. So you look at somebody who's built like Elon Musk, who's built this giant empire, uh, or I don't know, uh, just whoever. Like they just had this idea in their head and then just did it. Like nothing said they couldn't do it, and so they just said, "Well, I this is something I can do," and they made it happen. Now they
Yeah.
manifested that through their will, and a lot of that came up through their subconscious. It wasn't even a conscious thing. It was just their subconscious said, "This is what I deserve. It can be done. I will do it." And then they do it. And then other people, their subconscious says, "I don't deserve it. I can't do it." And they don't do it. And so yeah, so there's a lot of stuff going on that we're not consciously aware of in this life. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. Every once in a while when I'm dreaming, I get the idea that I might be dreaming. It's rare. And in those instances, I try to have sex with a woman in my dream. I just go, well, let me manufacture a woman in my imagination. And I kind of can, and then, but it's never doesn't quite work out because I'm waking up and I'm like, no, I don't want to wake up. I want to finally have sex
Yeah,
again
that's funny.
in my life.
Again. Yeah.
And I'm married, so it's just rare that anything happens. So anyway, my dreams are the only shot I've got at this point. Anyways, but yeah, who knows, man? It's all, here's what's cool. Like, we're human beings, we have imaginations, we have brains, and we can talk about it and we can imagine things and have fun doing it.
Yeah.
And some people like that and some people don't. Some people get nervous about that. Some people get scared because, sometimes ideas can be kind of frightening.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. It just depends how your brain works and sort of does it repeat the idea back to you, make you think about it more and more, right? Sort of obsessive thinking, or if you're not, you can let things go and kind of move on with your day. That could be intrusive. So anything that breaks the routine, like you said, I think is what affects people. And fear, right? We make a lot of fear-based decisions
Uh,
entirely, right? And then you collate that all together from the world of billions of people. You've got society, you've got wars, you've got peace, you've got and everything in between. So yeah, I don't know. And the thought that there's other planets out there with basically similar outputs, right, from a civilization, they would have societies, wars, governments, control, power. Like these themes seem like they would be universal to put it like
I
right?
mean,
Like so that's
I
interesting.
who knows? I mean, all we know is what we know as human beings. We don't know anything else. I just got
Yeah.
cats in my house, and I love these cats,
Yeah.
and I like seeing them. I like petting them. But if I was smaller than my cats would just attack me and kill me and eat me.
Yeah.
And so if aliens are like cats, they come to the Earth,
We're
they
good.
might be like, "Oh, those are cool looking aliens. Um, Hi, I am human." Meow. And then you're like, "Oh, okay, I guess that's their language." And then you're like hanging out for a couple weeks, like, "Yeah, I like these. They're pretty cool.
This
These are
works.
pretty chill." And then all of a sudden,
You're dead.
oh, I just got killed by this cat. So
Yeah.
you don't know because they're aliens. You don't know what they are. Shit, dude. Human beings, we don't fuck around either.
I mean, 100%. I feel like we would kill an alien right away if they landed. I don't think we would be like, right, just first motherfucker I saw that, bam, just I killed an alien.
Right.
That's the title for the article the very next day. Yeah, I just feel like we would immediately kill it, and I just don't think we would waste one
There's
second.
definitely some people. Yeah, I mean, in the movies, they always want to kill the alien. I
Yeah,
mean,
right away. Just right away. Shoot at it. Fire. You always hear that general. Fire. You know. Wait. The aliens are just going, holy shit. Yeah. Or they just make it super scary, right? They come in like Alien, the movie, right? Or whatever,
yeah,
Predator,
they
right?
gotta set it up. Like they can't
Yeah.
just like a meek alien come up and go, "I am your friend, alien." Then
Yeah. Yeah. They just
they gotta make them scary and gangstery so
yeah.
they kill them and feel good about it, like in Independence Day.
Yeah, exactly. They've got to smell. They've got to be lizardly looking, right? Like lizard kind of like
They can't look like
I
Gal Gadot.
think they would. I think they would come looking. The idea of human, well, the idea of like eyes and ears and nose, right? These are just body parts that give us the senses of our life, like you know what I mean, touch, like. So I think all beings would more or less have these same features. I don't know. I don't.
How do you feel about lizards living amongst us? how does
Like
that work?
lizard people?
Lizard
I mean,
people that like I
I
know
don't
I knew a guy 20 years ago who believed that lizards were living amongst us and they inhabit the skins of humans, but underneath they're lizards.
There's
That's
people watching this right now who think that.
that's a hard one. That's a hard one to
I
swallow.
haven't seen
I
any
don't know.
evidence of it, and it's a hard one for me to swallow too.
Yeah, it's a
That they
hard one
can
because it's like, how's that work? Like, I don't get it.
they morph into it. Again, on its surface, it seems crazy, it seems ludicrous. But if you start to think about it down the line, it could be plausible.
Yeah.
And that's where people will, I get it because they're, again, if we don't understand everything, then the possibility of anything still exists, right? So it's like
How
you
about
can always say, "Oh, that's plausible,"
I
which it is.
I got a solution for how to end the flat earthers to stop
Okay.
flat earth information
All
from
right.
about. Right now, it's called Flat Earth, which
Yeah.
sounds cool. That sounds like a book. That sounds like a J.R.R. Tolkien book. Oh, did you
Sure.
read Flat Earth? Oh yeah, Flat Earth.
No, you're right. You're right.
So you can say Flat Earth, and then people are like, "Yeah, that sounds plausible because it sounds cool." So you got to change.
Or a Spinal Tap album, right?
Yeah,
Doesn't
but
it
so you
sound
got
like
to so you got to change the name so it doesn't sound cool. So you call it Flat Planet. You call it Flat Planet, you're going to lose most people because nobody's going
yeah.
to go on. Yeah, I'm a flat planet believer because it sounds dumb, dude. Flat Earth sounds smart. Flat planet sounds dumb.
Sounds I've been trying to get a theory going that I have called flat people theory.
Oh, what's
That
that?
I'm taking the flat earth theory even further where people are flat. We're all flat. Everything's flat. There is no third dimension. We're all flat. Everything's flat. That's it. I don't know.
Good luck. Good luck.
Good luck. Good luck. I'm sorry. I have zero signups for the Flat People Conference that I try to get
Also,
going.
yeah. Also, uh, there's no jokes. There's no jokes in flat people.
It's this is real
Joke free.
talk.
That's joke
Yeah,
free.
this is just straight real talk. Yes. Yeah. No, of course not.
Now, all
Yeah,
right.
no,
Here's
that's
a
funny.
question I have for you. Have you ever
Okay.
had a alien or UFO experience?
No, I haven't. I've everything I've seen, I can explain. I've never. I've
I'm
had weird experiences in like deja vu stuff that's like
yeah,
super
sure.
crazy convincing to me, but nothing like no, alien or UFO experience.
I will say this though, I'm always looking at the sky, and every time I look at the sky, I'm like, oh, I hope I see a UFO.
You
Oh,
haven't, right? I feel like you had already told me. Yeah.
but I'll see like a plane or a helicopter or something, and I'll be like, is that a
What was
UFO?
that? Yeah, for sure.
And I saw like Skylink. I'm sure you've seen Skylink up in the sky. That's amazing looking. Where they
The
put the
Starlink, the Elon
Starlink.
Musk.
Yeah, where you
Yeah,
see all
yeah.
the satellites going
Oh,
across.
dude, it's
It looks
insane.
amazing.
It's like
Like if you didn't know what
they're
that
everywhere.
was and you saw
Yeah.
that, you'd be like, "Oh shit, those are for sure alien spacecraft. Those aren't
Yeah.
planes."
Yeah.
But then like, "Oh no, those are satellites." Oh, they are? Oh shit.
I mean, I definitely bet a lot of sightings are just that, the Starlink satellites that have gone up recently. There's like not I don't want to say I was going to say millions. There's not millions, but um
So many though.
they cover almost the entire planet. I think they're almost 360 around the globe. I think like North and South Pole were the last bits to be covered, but the plan was to cover. I don't know if it happened already, but yeah, all the stuff that's out there in lower Earth atmosphere is mind-boggling. The amount of satellites and Starlink and just debris, just space junk that's out there floating around. It's kind of crazy. So yeah, that could definitely be a lot of sightings. I don't know. They say they're tracking them coming down from space, you know,
Tracking
transmedium.
stuff.
They go tracking something coming from space to the ocean that it can come down and it fly.
And
They've been tracking them on satellites.
Like when you say that, who's doing that? The
Our
U.S.
government. Yeah, the U.S.
They're
government.
saying we're tracking stuff coming from space.
Well, David Grush, the whistleblower, is saying he was read into a program, a UAP program, that's what they did. They would track them through satellite imagery coming from space all the way down into the
He's the only
ocean.
one. Not our government's not saying that. Just he's saying that. The whistleblower saying that.
Correct.
Again,
Correct.
it's one guy,
Yeah,
and there's
we
just
want
too
to see
many.
this.
Well, the problem is, here's the problem. There have been too many guys that have said, there's too many David Koreshes. There have been too many David Koreshes throughout history where they're like, I'm Jesus.
Yeah.
I know something, and they're not telling the truth. So unfortunately for that guy, there's too many dudes. So until somebody from our
Well,
government says
he's
it,
not like, well, people have from our gut, but not that. But they've talked about, I mean, you have generals in press conferences saying, yeah, we have UAP flying around our test ranges with our pilots every week.
that's
We need
that's
to do something about
yeah,
this.
well, that's very believable. When you
You know,
start having multiple government reliable officials saying it, then I'm all about
yeah,
it.
there's definitely UAP flying around, unidentified anomalous phenomena.
We just
Something is
don't we
flying
just don't know
around,
what it
but
is. We don't know
exactly,
if
that's
it's
all it
our
is.
stuff, if it's somebody else's stuff, if it's from the future, if it's from space.
Correct.
There's stuff
Correct.
going.
But something is flying. To
And I've
just
seen a
say
lot of yeah,
there's
I've seen
nothing
yeah,
is ridiculous. So there's
yeah, that is.
something, but yeah. But
And
what
I've
is it?
seen some of that footage, and the footage is very compelling, and I love watching it. It's very cool.
Yeah, me too. And to be honest, there is a lot of cell phone footage and videos and photo. I mean, shit, I get sent so much stuff. It's crazy. That's why we started a Discord server to have a place for people to go now and submit all of those photos and videos and compile it into a resource, right? Of people have taken because sometimes it's just a speck. They're like, look at this pixel. This is alien. Or sometimes it is something flying across the screen, and you're like, okay, that's interesting. Like, what was that? That looked weird. So I don't know. Would that be the first like real evidence that got released? Like, I don't, again, I think to really change people's minds, we have to see the craft or
Yeah.
bodies.
Yeah.
I think even people saying, oh, I worked on the craft or I what
No.
great. But where is it?
Yeah. No, that's the thing. Until there's a spaceship that you can go look at, until there's a dude that people are standing until, you know what I mean? And I'm not talking about like, oh, here's some footage from 1972 where there's an alien walking through, because that's all I can create that right now on my computer using AI.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
can just create
Yeah.
that. So until there's a guy standing there and there's 1,000 people in the room looking at that guy, and dude, we're not far. Dude, here's the other thing, dude. We're not far from holographic images where you'll be able to create a holographic image of an alien, put it in a room with 1,000 people, and 1,000 people will say, I saw an alien.
That's
And
crazy.
it's a
That's going
hologram.
to screw things up. AI is going to screw up hoax video. Like it's going to
Well,
be just
you can
impossible.
with those, I mean, we all looked at that robot that ChatGPT put out last week. And,
Yeah. I saw
and you
that.
you can build a little alien suit and put that on the robot and then walk that through a meet and greet, and then like here we got an alien. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's we're getting towards a time where it'll be interesting how much you
It'll
know
be like misinformation, in a way, right? Of
well there'll just be so you'll there it's not even misinformation, it's just there's going to be so dude, even now, like on YouTube, like so much content on YouTube is just generated with AI. Like
oh
it's
yeah.
it's never ending. 2 years from now, 99.99999% of all the music on Spotify and iTunes is going to be AI. Everything on YouTube is going to be AI. It's just all going to be AI generated.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I just don't like that. I don't I think there'll be a pushback to that, and then it'll balance out, just like everything. It gets overused, and then
Well,
hopefully there's a
here's the thing. If it's
pushback, and
yeah, but if it's something you like what was I looking at? I was looking at something. Oh, what were the best guests on talk shows? And I started watching it, and it's the AI voice. As soon as I hear it now, I recognize the AI voice. It sounds,
yeah, familiar.
I mean, I know this voice. I hear it
Yeah,
all the time on YouTube. It's like,
yeah,
I wish I could, I wish I was a good mimic. I would do it, and you'd be like, oh, yeah, the AI guy. I hear him. And it's just a bunch of videos of people on talk shows, and you could tell that the AI created the whole video, pulled all the clips from the internet, did all the narration, did all the talking, and they were like, "Yeah, when Raquel Welch was on the Dick Cavett show, and it says instead of Dick Cavett, it says Dick Havett with an H because it heard Dick Cavett, but it spelled it Havett. So if it would have
oh
a
gosh,
human, it would have done it differently. So
yeah, that's funny.
but
Dick
I
Cavett.
was enjoying it. I was enjoying it until I realized, oh, this is just all AI.
AI.
There's not going to be anything interesting here. And the reason that people are doing that is because they're just doing it for money. They're not doing it for
Sure,
entertainment. They're not doing it for art. They're not
sure.
trying to make the world better. They're like, okay, if I create 100,000 videos with AI, which is easy to do, you just click a button and you just have it start doing it. So you can create thousands of videos a day, and then 10 days you'll have 100,000 videos that are on YouTube. And if 1,000 people watch 100,000 videos, you'll make an enormous amount of money and you'll get rich. Now, the world won't be any better. The internet will just be flooded with AI videos that aren't very interesting, don't really say much, but people will watch them for a while. I watched 5 or 6 minutes of that video, enough to where, you know, they got paid.
Yeah. Well, it's like
So
spam. It's just another version of spam,
it's just
right?
another way for people. It's like those miners that went to California and sat in those streams mining for gold. They're just panning for gold. They're
Yeah.
doing it with the internet now and
Yeah.
using AI to do the panning for them.
Yeah.
I don't even know why I
Yeah.
brought.
I mean, no, I get it. Well, it's because it is going to change things. It's going to change the internet in a way, our expectations, human connection. But we've already sort of been doing that to ourselves. The internet, it's in and of itself, social media, right? It's a different kind of personal connection. Shopping online, no more going to the store, no more, being suggested something in the store, you then buy. Those days are gone because you're online, you're buying, right? Like going to Blockbuster and being like, I guess I'm gonna watch this movie because all the shit I wanted to watch is out, so I gotta rent this random movie, and then that turns into your favorite movie you've ever seen. Blah blah blah. Like those kind of moments are gone, and there's a little bit of character to that. And the more we just get to things being so perfectly like made for us, it just sets a different expectation. But with each generation comes the ability to overcome that, and your bar is just different from the get-go. You're just more accepting of things, more, right? Like, this is life. I don't even know what life was like before AI. Sounds stupid. This is the way it should be. That's worrisome in a way, but who knows? Maybe just old man on the porch mentality, who knows?
Dude, I was watching. I don't watch it. My wife watches Vanderpump Rules, and I walked into the room. She was watching it, and I'm watching these guys, and they look like they're in their late 20s, maybe they're 30,
Yeah.
and they're talking to each other. It's a group of men, group of women talking to each other. And the thing that I noticed immediately was how soft and uh ill-equipped these men were, if anything. Like, I mean, I think of myself as a person that, like, I'm not going to be good in the eventuality where if the grid goes down, that's it for me. It's murder suicide over here. We're not
Yeah.
living
You're
through the army.
toast.
I just can't imagine it.
Yeah.
But having said that, these dudes that were having this conversation, I was like, these guys are like half men. They're like they're so I'm trying to think of the word. They don't have any, they don't have that true grit. They have no grit. They're
Yeah.
just soft. They've just been pampered their whole lives, given everything they've wanted. They've never had to, like, you know what I mean? It just,
Yeah.
there's nothing to these dudes. And these women are deeply unhappy with these men because they're not, you know what I mean? There's something
Yeah.
that these women want that these men don't have. They want that guy who's going to murder everybody and impregnate them and give them a baby and then take care of their baby. And these men don't have that at all. There's nothing,
Yeah.
and they're mad. And the men are like, I don't feel good because you're mad at me. And they're like, yeah, you suck. And I was like, what am I watching? It's just it's terrible. And again, this is
Yeah.
not everybody in society, and it's these young people, but there is something about like
Adversity.
adversity and life being hard and difficult that gives people character and gives them something, hardens them, makes them stronger, makes them wiser. And
Yeah.
I don't see that in some people.
That's what I mean. We're going to take that away from more people than just more people will have that lifestyle, right? If AI is designed to just take care of your every need at every point, you don't really need to do anything or learn anything or do anything for yourself. I don't see how that takes us to the next level as humans. Or maybe I'm wrong. Again, maybe we just haven't figured that out.
Well, it's like
But
Wally.
well, yeah, exactly. Like Wally. But at the same time, the argument is made, well, look where we're at now. We've clearly have done that for ourselves already, plumbing, electricity, right? Medical advancements, right? There's clearly things we've done to ourselves to take away certain adversities that we did have before that people might have said, oh, you need to go through the plague and survive to be a real man. And we're like, no, you don't.
Right.
And thank God for that. Or whatever. You need to shit in a bucket out in a field, not have a
Well, dude,
toilet or indoor plumbing. All right. So
I mean,
is that what it is? This is, and
there's
we
no
just don't
doubt,
know it.
dude. No, dude, as soft as those guys are that are 20 years younger than me,
Yeah.
I'm way softer than the guys that are 20 years older than me. And those
Yeah.
guys that are 20 years older than me are 20 years softer than the guys before them. Dude,
Exactly. That's my
go back
point.
150 years, and a dude would go out into a field with an axe and a stone to sharpen the axe, and he would cut down a tree and by hand, not go to fucking Lowe's and buy some 2x4s, by hand and an axe, chop out planks of wood from a tree. Guess what?
Yeah.
That dude's hard. That dude's hard.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That dude, his feelings aren't getting hurt if you like, I don't know, use the wrong
Word around them or
adverb.
something. Yeah. Yeah. For sure. No, not at
Oh,
all.
you used an adverb instead of a verb? Don't give a fuck. Guess what that guy cares about? Fucking
Just accent.
Comanches, dude. That
Yeah.
dude's concerned about
Yeah.
he's concerned
Yeah.
about a fucking Comanche raiding party, dude.
Absolutely. That's what I mean, right? We've come to that. That just, how far can that go before we're like whittled down to nothing
I mean,
as human beings? You
look,
know?
Adam Carolla wrote his first book he wrote was like in 50 years we're all going to be chicks. He wrote that book 20 years ago.
So that's it.
It's pretty true.
We're all gonna become
Not all of
chicks.
us,
No.
but but the guys in 50, I mean, I don't know. unless a war breaks out, unless the shit hits the fan. The could hit the fan at any point. The shit's always hitting the fan.
Yeah.
There's, like I said, there's people being murdered right now as we speak.
Yeah.
Children,
Yeah.
women, children
But
being
there's also good deeds being done as we speak.
mostly
Mostly
the
good stuff.
vast majority of things that are going on right now in the world, the vast majority, I would say 99% of all the things that are going on right now are good things. Of
Yeah,
course,
or neutral, right?
nobody, nobody, yeah.
Just stuff, the day to day.
All you need to know about what's going on in the world is look outside your window, look inside your house, look at what's going on. Whatever's going on inside your house and out in your neighborhood, that's what's going on in the entire world. Now,
Well, I don't know. I don't know about that, but
what do you
wait,
think is going on?
wait. If you're saying, what if you live in like Gaza right now? Like, I don't.
Well, if you live in Gaza, that's what's going on in your world. Like, look
Oh, in
outside.
your
Look,
world. I thought you said
look
the whole
outside
world.
your window. Oh, they're dropping
Yeah,
bombs
yeah,
outside my window. Oh, there's a
yeah,
bunch of
yeah.
dead people out there.
I
That's
agree.
what's going on in your world.
Yeah,
Now,
I agree.
most people don't live in Gaza. Most people live in a place
Of
where they look
course.
outside and there's not a bunch of
Of
dead
course.
bodies.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, no. I thought you said the whole world. I was like, wait a second. Yeah. No, no, no. Well, yes, your world. 100%. That is your world. Whatever is surrounding you for sure. Yeah. No, man.
And that's the world for most people. But
Yeah.
again, that's not newsworthy.
Yeah.
There's no news program that,
Well,
oh, today, no people were murdered in this neighborhood that I live in. Oh,
yeah.
really?
Oh, yeah, of course.
What other news can we sell fucking Geico insurance to? Oh, well, they were out of potato bread at the HEB today. Oh, okay. I think we can sell some fucking spiced Coke.
Well, also like what is good for one person might be bad for the other person in the transaction. So what you might look at is, oh, one person going, this was good for me. The other person's like, this was not good for me.
Yeah.
So right, like who knows, dude? It's a miracle we're all still fucking here.
It is kind of, dude, it is a miracle that I'm alive with all the
Yeah,
shit that I did in my life. The fact that I didn't die
survive.
before now,
Yeah,
it's crazy. The fact
yeah,
that human beings somehow made it through 100,000 years
dude,
with like
for real.
just
How's that even possible? Yeah,
hunting and gathering, dude. Like, how
yeah.
how did
Just raw ball in it, right?
just raw ball in it?
Just out there living life, hunting, gathering.
Murdering all of the who were the ones that came before us that we had to murder? Cro-Magnon, we just killed all the
Oh,
Cro-Magnon people. We just
yeah, yeah.
Cro-Magnon. Yo, you Cro-Magnon? In the neck. And then that Cro-Magnon is just bleeding out. And I'm like, hey man, there's a new motherfucker on the block.
Just like standing over them, just
Homo
like
erectus, bitch.
first. I think we fucked them. We fucked them first, and then we fucked them. You know what I'm saying? It was like that's why we want to have sex with aliens.
Maybe they fucked us and then we fucked them. I don't know. Either way, Cro-Magnons.
That's what happened.
You know why the Cro-Magnons didn't make it and we made it?
I think I heard, I could be wrong here, but clearly I'm going to be wrong. But like they wanted to be more singular, where we were more focused on community. So they would
Well,
travel in smaller pairs. No, I don't know.
supposedly the Cro-Magnon, the men and women were almost identical, and with us, with whatever we are, I'm gonna get that wrong, but whatever we are, we became more specific. Women and men became different enough to where we had specific jobs, which allowed us to be more successful in terms of taking care of our children, taking care of these babies, and surviving.
Diversity.
Well, we just became different, and men and women are different now. And I think the
Oh, so
Cro-Magnon,
Cro-Magnon, they were all like one
they were
unit
more
species, one
similar.
unit
Like
gender.
men and women were like
Yeah.
similar in terms of how they interacted and how they viewed the world and
Interesting.
the jobs that they had in terms of like taking care of the young and how that. Whereas men and women we're just very different. Like I have a daughter and a son, and when you have two, when you just see the differences between girls and boys. They're just very different. The way they view the world, the way we take in information is very different. Like when my daughter was 1, I was like, oh, women take in way more information than men. They're way smarter because they're taking in all this information all the time and are able to process it in a way that men just can't. And the only reason that men do so well in society is because we take our limited amount of information and we can focus it because we have testosterone, which allows us to really focus the limited resources we have into like a fine little thing. And then we can put our minds to whatever, building a building or writing a book or cracking some fucking code or something. And women, because they don't have that testosterone, aren't able to channel this way bigger resource of information that they have. And so with exceptions all the time where women do have, there's some women that have more testosterone and they are able to focus, and when they do, they like, they rule the world. They, they're the ones that come up with the fucking virus, the vaccine or the fucking, I don't know, fucking whatever women do that have a lot of testosterone. They fucking rule. You know what I mean? Because they're so much smarter
Yeah.
than men. So
Yeah.
anyway,
No, good. I see you trying to pull it back yourself out of that one a little bit.
no, I'm not backing myself up. Women are smarter than men.
Yeah.
Period. That's just, but they can't focus it the way men can. With again, it's just testosterone. Like,
yeah, of course.
If you've got the testosterone, you can focus. And as I get older, I have less focus because I have less testosterone, and I like it, dude. Don't give me any more testosterone. I'll take no testosterone and just la-di fucking da through the day. I'm telling you, dude. Not that, and I'm also not saying that women la-di-da through the day, but it's a different mentality. And also women are all women are necessary up to a certain age, and men we're not. You and me are absolutely redundant. You and I don't need to exist. We don't need to exist for humanity to keep going.
Yeah.
And you and me both know that.
Oh,
whereas every woman has to exist for humanity to keep going.
I mean, you need a few guys.
You need one guy.
Yeah.
One guy can make all the semen necessary to populate the entire world.
Genghis Khan tried.
1 in 6, I think, have a little bit of that Genghis Khan DNA,
Yeah. And if they don't, I always ask them, you want some?
Because you got that DNA. You got that Genghis DNA.
Yeah, I got that Genghis dong,
Oh, damn.
Oh, Jesus.
I like that.
Aye. Well, look, Bob, this was awesome. What
I don't know I don't know what we learned, but it's always fun talking to you about it. I will say this. Here's what I like about talking to you.
Okay.
First of all, you let me go on these crazy tangents, which I appreciate. But here's what happens when you have a conversation like we were having right now. There were a couple times where it really made me think about some stuff that I hadn't really thought about before. And I think that's what conversations are for. I'm talking, you're talking, we're batting ideas back and forth a little bit, or even if they're not back and forth, even I'm like, here's my idea, and you're like, okay, here's my but by having a conversation about this kind of stuff, you really it can open up little areas in your mind that might have been closed or you might not have thought about. And the more you can do, the more you can keep yourself open to hearing ideas or new ideas, the more the chance of you growing are greater than if you just like, I know everything. Nothing you can tell me is going to make a difference. Like one of the things
Yeah.
I've noticed, and it started in the pandemic, is because, for instance, politically in America, it's very divided in America.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
either
Yeah.
you're either on the right or on the left, and you're just told to hate the other side that you're not on. And what I've discovered since the pandemic, because I walk a lot and I'll meet people in my neighborhood, and we have religious differences, political differences. But if I just sit there and have a conversation with them and ask them about, like, tell me about this story or tell me about this thing that's going on, and they'll tell me this narrative that they've been told, and it's a different one than I got.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, dude, I love hearing different narratives because it really explains to me a couple things. First of all, why they believe what they believe, and also it allows me to understand, like, I'm not being told I'm not being told the whole story. So this idea that I know everything and that what I know is more right than what this other person knows, that's not helpful to think that everything you know is right. Because again,
Yeah.
we're not told everything. We don't know
Yeah.
everything. And the stuff we don't know what we've been told is right and what's not right. But man, we really do believe it. And so I think having conversations with people, especially people who don't necessarily believe the way you do, is helpful.
Yeah.
Again, as long as you're not trying to cram your
Sure.
ideas down their throat, you know. If you can listen to other ideas, it's helpful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you can decide what to do with the idea after you've listened to it. But if you shut it off before you ever hear it, you just have no idea
Yeah. I
what you're
just
shutting
remember,
off.
yeah, there's just, yeah. I mean, we can go into details all day long, but like anytime somebody's like, hey man, this is the thing, I'm like, send me the link, dude. Send me the link. I want to
Yeah.
send me the link. And dude, I'm telling you, the more salacious it is, the more crazy it is, the more often they're like, oh, I couldn't find the link. Why couldn't you find the link? I wonder. Why couldn't you find the link?
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's like Reddit in a nutshell. Someone
Yeah.
makes a claim and then the person link where who said that, where when did that, and then the person backpedals. Well,
Right.
I could have, or they send it and it's completely different from what
Yeah.
they said happened.
Maybe he did have both nuts.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah, maybe it just hadn't dropped yet.
That's, if I talk to this friend and that's what he says, like, no, Bob said aliens. No, it was a Chuck E. Cheese, and he went into the bathroom with this old guy we called one nut. Oh, okay.
Dude,
This is way
I'm
different.
almost positive he told me that he had two nuts. Now that I think about it, it's starting to come back to me. Here's the thing, dude. If he does have two nuts and I just made up the whole story,
That's also
how
fascinating.
no, but how much of a bummer would that be? Like, I just love the story of the alien, you know, taking this kid's nut and him not knowing about it until he was an adult. That's such a fun story. And if that wasn't true, it would really bum me out. But
Yes. Let's just, let's leave it like the spinning top of Inception. Just, we don't
right.
need to know if that is what happened,
It was
you know,
definitely
you
it
know.
it was definitely gonna keep spending that top.
Oh,
It
100%.
it should have fallen by that point.
You think it kind of looks like they cut it right before it falls.
Yeah, but it kind of had been doing that for a minute, for a few
That's
seconds.
true. See, this is what he wanted. This is what Nolan wanted people to discuss it like this, right? Like that's the whole idea.
I do like Inception, but I watched his first movie again, Memento. No, don't rewatch that.
What? That's a great movie.
I know, but have you seen it recently?
It's yeah, I mean like 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, when I
Does
interviewed Stephen Tobolowsky, the guy from the movie with the memory problem.
Yeah. I don't know. I watched it recently. I was like, this movie's
Didn't like it.
well,
Yeah.
it's just doesn't really
It
hold up.
aged. Yeah.
It's-
I mean,
it's-
that happens with a lot of movies, right? They just don't age.
well,
It's
it's
not like music. It's not the same. Music is like, right? Like that's such a interesting point about music that it, you know what I mean? We can listen to a song, Mozart. I mean, we can listen to a song so old, classical, just whatever sort of music. But a movie, only very few special ones sort of stick out. And even then, they're just kind of nostalgic. But if you try to watch it, you're like, this sucks.
yeah, but music too. I mean, we're there was trust me, dude. There's Mozart, and then there's all the other knuckleheads that you don't know about that were writing music back in those days, dude. There was
Yeah.
uh Mozart. Nobody's listening to Mozart.
We got, yeah,
Or
Fucksart
even
over
worse,
here. This guy, this sucks.
Mozart, dude. Mozart
Yeah.
shit, dude. His shit
How
was
about how
so
about
good.
Notesart? I'm
No,
just kidding.
no, dude. Mozart, dude. That guy's not good. There's a reason. Yeah.
How about Theodore's music? No, that guy sucks. Forget
Sucks.
him. Oh no, that's funny.
All
Well,
right,
no,
man.
Bob, this was awesome, dude. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. It
Yeah,
was fun. Always fun getting
enjoy the
to
rest of your day. Whatever you get to do, go back to the studio,
back
finish
to the
up that
studio.
tune.
Yeah, I mean it's finished, but yeah, I'll probably do a little editing.
What's
So
this for? Is this for?
I write a song every week. I have this thing
Yeah,
called the song game where I
yeah.
send out a phrase to I have a group of about 12 songwriters, and I send out the phrase, and then you've got until Tuesday night, and you got to turn in a song with the phrase in it somewhere. And I've been doing that for 23 years. And I used to do it like every couple days, but now it's once a week. So it makes me write 50 songs a year, which is a good number to
You've
write.
told me, some people that have been in the song club with you before, but I can't really remember who all that you're
I've,
even
I've,
allowed to say, right? Because some of it's private,
oh,
private.
I've, I've had a bunch of people that have done it. Not a lot of people stay in it, but Jason Mraz is, from, as you know, from Dancing with the Stars, this last season, finalist in Dancing with the Stars. He's,
Wait, is that true?
oh yeah,
Really?
he was runner up this past season for Dancing with the Stars. Amazing. He's incredible.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's done
Interesting.
it for years and years, but I don't know, like Mike Doty did it from Soul Coughing. Do you know him? Patty Griffin has done it.
Oh,
Uh
wow.
trying to think. There've been a couple of sort of more famous people that have done it, but the problem is it's doing it week after week. Because
Yeah.
they'll write a song, maybe they'll write one the second week, but then by the third week they're like, "Oh, I'm all out of ideas." No, you're not. You got to keep them coming. And then if they don't write, I kick them out of the group. So
Yeah, they're gone.
you gotta write one every week. And some
And so
weeks,
you record it. I didn't realize you actually recorded the song like in the studio every week. I mean, I knew you did, wrote them. I didn't
yeah, I
realize you
mean,
did
I
that.
write them in the studio and record them, and some I spend more time than others. Some are a little raw than others, but
Sure.
yeah. And then you just send them to the group, and nobody listens to anybody's songs, and then you do it again the week after that.
Nobody listens to anybody's
I
songs.
mean, I don't know. Maybe they do. I
You don't? I
listen
think
to
you
every
just admitted that you don't.
no, I listen to
So,
everybody's, but I don't necessarily listen to the whole song. Like I'll listen to the beginning of it, and I'm like, oh, this is a cool song. I'll listen to the whole thing. And if it's not a good song, I'm like, I don't need to listen to the whole thing.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure you know in the first 5 seconds if it's going to be
Yeah,
something you're into, right?
pretty
Yeah,
quick.
pretty quick. It's got a good beat. Well, awesome, dude. Well, yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your week. I know you got a lot of traveling, touring coming up. Any dates you want to throw out, or I don't know, gigs or something you got coming up?
Not really. Not with your vetted fans. I don't
Listen,
want.
you want betters
I,
to show up, man.
I
They
don't
would.
want that. I don't want them to know where I live, like where I'm playing, in case they're like, "Oh yeah, you don't believe in whatever."
Fuck you.
They come to my show and they're like, "I'll show you what's real, bitch. I'll show you."
Honestly, if that happened, I might, depending on how it went down, that might be kind of funny. But no, it wouldn't. Let's not do that. Betters. What are we talking about? I have good people watching the
Oh, I
show.
like it. Is that what you call your vetted fans, vetters?
Vetters, baby. Yeah.
I like that. Eddie Vetters.
Eddie Vetters. That's it. The Eddie Vetters. Yeah. That's it.
The Eddies.
All right, man. The Eddies. Oh gosh. Don't there now that's going to spread. I'm sure somebody's going to say that now.
Dude, you want followers. Vetters, I think. I like Vetters. That's good.
Yeah. They've kind of run with it. We got a shirt now. Says
Nice.
better. You know, it's easy. I don't know.
It's great.
You know. Yeah. They voted. They like that name. There was Vetisons.
Not good. Real bad. Horrible. I would say.
Hello, fellow Vetisons.
Oh, terrible.
No.
Terrible. Vetter's great.
Better's better.
Yeah, Vetter's better.
Better's better. Yeah.
All right, man.
All right, brother. Talk soon.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross